It was another lively day where 10 wickets fell. On the first day there were 11, today 10. Sanjay, what do you make of the day's play? Once again, the momentum swing both sides, but Stuart Broad came up with a brilliant performance. And before that, Rahul Dravid's another amazing century to equal with now the record for the centuries with Lara and Gavaskar. Could you talk about the day's play?
Well, people doubted, the relevance or the popularity of Test match cricket. All they had to do was watch today. Uh, the atmosphere was brilliant, and I'm sure whoever was near a television set would have watched most of today's play. There was so much to savor. And before we get into all the individual performances, because there's so much to talk about, I think we have to again accept one very important fact in the two test matches that we've seen so far is the contribution of the surface to the game itself.
Rahul Dravid, this man's been on the field nearly, believe it or not, for 33 hours. Where do you place this century and how important will this be for India now?
Dravid had a rough time in South Africa, and people were wondering whether it's time for Rahul to call it a day, because these people are advancing in years, and every time they have a sort of a lean period, people start talking about retirement, which is somewhat understandable. But he chose to stick it out and decided to go to West Indies, got 100 there. But it was really a mismatch with Dravid's ability and experience versus the West Indies bowling attack, which wasn't as experienced. And also the profile of the series was very low. So I wondered whether that 100 is something that you get very excited about and talk about Dravid as the re-emergence, or the guy who's got the second win like Tendulkar has got in the last 2-3 years. But that Lord's Test match showed Dravid in true light. And that 100 in West Indies wasn't just a flash or because of the kind of series it was. That Dravid seems to have come back to Dravid being at his best. I thought two wonderful hundreds, and again here, difficult circumstances. When you get 100 and the team total is inside 300, you've got a special test match 100. And it's amazing how he keeps going on and for hours, not getting from 50 to 60, 60 to 70. As batsmen, we set those goals, and sometime when you're stuck in 60 and you have not gone to 70 quickly, now it starts working on you. I think Dravid has just shut out that human side of things. He's almost become mechanical in the way he goes about his innings.
There was a middle order wobble though, with many Tendulkar fans might be disappointed that he failed again to convert a start, and Raina played a very, an erroneous stroke. But Yuvraj Singh, returning to Test cricket after almost a year, the man of the World Cup, he didn't show any signs of pressure or anything.
I was actually a little worried about Yuvraj Singh because his body language in the field wasn't looking great after he was picked to play in Test match cricket. And somebody, when he doesn't play Test match cricket often and it's held as one barrier that he hasn't surpassed, people don't regard him as a Test match success. So it starts becoming a lot more important than it actually is in your mind, and you start sort of valuing it a lot more. And then as a result, sometimes there is fear as well. So I was wondering whether he was creating too much pressure for himself with this Test match comeback. And conditions also when he came into bat weren't ideal for a Yuvraj Singh kind of a player. He loves to hit through the line, loves pace and bounce, ball coming onto the bat. But there was swing, there was seam, and I thought Yuvraj handled that beautifully. And I thought he played a superb innings. And at a time when Suresh Raina, had one of his bad days in the office where the short ball seemed to have affected the other game of his as a batsman. So now again, we're seeing this little competition for that slot in the middle order or the lower middle order between Yuvraj Singh and Suresh Raina. So I think that's a very significant development for India with Yuvraj Singh's performance.
Yeah, at one stage India looked like set for a 400 plus total, but then Stuart Broad had another idea. Second day in a row he made his mark and made a big impact with that hat-trick and taking 4 wickets and a 6-wicket haul. Could you talk about Stuart Broad's performance today with the ball?
Sometimes all a player needs is an opportunity. We try and look at some great performances and try and come out with some kind of reason as to why he was able to provide the kind of performance that he did. But all he needed was an opportunity which came his way, that Lord's Test match, because there was a bit of a 50-50 situation with Bresnan. He got his opportunity, and I thought he was one of the first bowlers in that Test match to show the kind of length that you need to bowl on pitches that we've got at Lord's. And here again, when you look at the hat-trick, you'll again see the length that he's bowled, and that's where he's led the way as far as seam bowling is concerned in this Test series. So it was not one of those freakish kind of performance or hat trick. There was a method to it, and none more deserving than Stuart Broad.
So where do you see this game heading now? What is a good total for England? I mean, or what do you expect? How do you think there's still a possibility of a 4-day finish?
Well, now I think it is England's turn to show the kind of depth that they have in their team. Jonathan Trott is a doubtful starter. Now India have actually battled with this situation right from the start of the series, losing Zair Khan, Gautam Gambhir as well. They had Tendulkar with fever in that second inning. So we'll see how England handles the probable absence of Jonathan Trott. So we'll see what kind of an effect that has. They've lost Alistair Cook. Jonathan Trott, along with Alistair Cook, were the two run machines for them in recent times. So that will test their batting. But having said that, I just wonder whether these three seamers without Zair Khan have done a tremendous job, to keep India in the match at Lord's for so long, and even here as well. But the real test will come in the second innings, where the help is dying out from the surface. I think there is still some help. Whether like Zair Khan, Praveen Kumar, Ishant Sharma and Srishant can bowl more than just one or two good spells, because that is what I think India needs from them. Ishant Sharma can't just have one good spell out of the 3-4 he bowls in a day, or for that matter Srishant. So Praveen Kumar looks to me the more sort of dependable bowler now, the steady bowler, and the other two need to produce 2 good spells each. If that happens, then there's a total on the board that India can hope to chase. And of course Harbhajan Singh has to come to the party, but I'm not sure this pitch is still ideal for somebody like Harbhajan Singh. We saw Swan struggle a bit. It is not what you would call a pitch perfect for Harbhajan to sort of answer his critics, as they normally say. So it's not going to be easy for Harbhajan Singh, but still I feel the seamers have more of a part to play before Harbhajan Singh comes in.